The halls of Seoul Arts Academy were absolutely losing their minds. Juni is coming. Juni is actually coming to our school. Girls were screaming. Phones were out everywhere. The entire building had turned into complete chaos in under 5 minutes. Rumi rolled her eyes so hard they nearly fell out of her head. Can everyone just chill? She muttered to herself. He's just a guy who happens to sing. Just a guy? Zoe appeared out of nowhere, nearly giving Rumi a heart attack. Just a guy? Girl, that's Juni. The Juni, the rock star who sold out 3 world tours before he turned 18. Rumi shrugged, adjusting her backpack. Yeah, well, good for him. Some of us are trying to actually focus on our music careers instead of screaming over boys. Mira walked up behind them, phone in hand, eyebrow raised. Says the girl who literally has a Juni poster collection that could fill a museum. That's different. Rumi's face turned bright red. Those are for artistic inspiration and cultural research. Cultural research? Zoe snorted. Girl, you cried for 3 hours when he released his last album. You called me at 2 in the morning to discuss the emotional depth of track 7. It was emotionally deep. Mira pointed at Rumi's hoodie. And what do you call that? Rumi looked down. She was wearing a black hoodie with Juni's tour logo printed across the front, in huge letters, that she'd bought from his official merchandise store, for way too much money. This? Rumi's voice went up 3 octaves. This is just comfortable. It's about comfort, not fandom. Right. Mira smirked. Super believable. Before Rumi could defend herself, the screaming got even louder. The crowd surged forward like a tidal wave. He's here, Juni's here. Rumi craned her neck to see. And there he was, Juni, walking through the front entrance like he owned the entire building, which, knowing his net worth, he probably could. He was taller than she expected. His dark hair fell perfectly across his forehead. He wore all black, sunglasses indoors like some kind of movie star, and had an expression that screamed, I'm too cool for all of this. Rumi hated that her heart did a little flip. Okay, fine, she whispered to herself. He's pretty good looking, but that doesn't mean anything. Lots of people are good looking. It's not a big deal. Juni was surrounded by security guards and what looked like his manager. Girls were pushing forward, trying to get close, screaming his name. He glanced at them with a haughtily bored expression that made them scream even more. Wow, Zoe breathed. He's even more gorgeous in person. He's also apparently really rude, Mira said, scrolling on her phone. Did you see the scandal? That's why he's here. His label is forcing him to attend regular school to rebuild his image after he insulted a reporter. What did he say? Rumi asked, trying not to sound too interested. Called them a vulture who wouldn't know real music if it hit them in the face. Mira showed them the article. Honestly, kind of iconic, but also super arrogant. Rumi watched as Juni walked past the crowd. He looked trapped, like a wild animal in a cage. For just a second, she almost felt bad for him. Then his security team turned a corner and the crowd followed like a stampede. Okay, everyone needs to calm down. Their homeroom teacher, Ms. Park, announced. Yes, we have a new student. Yes, he's famous. No, that doesn't mean you can mob him in the hallways. This is still a school, not a concert venue. Juni sat in the back of the classroom, looking like he wanted to be literally anywhere else. Girls kept turning around to stare. Guys were glaring with jealousy. Nobody was paying attention to Ms. Park's lecture about music theory. Rumi tried to focus on her notes. She had a song due next week, a really important song that could get her noticed by the school's music producer. She couldn't afford to get distracted by some celebrity who probably thought he was better than everyone here. Ms. Hunter, Ms. Park suddenly called out, since you seem so focused, why don't you explain the circle of fifths to our new student? Rumi's head snapped up. What? Me? Yes, you. Turn around and help Juni catch up on what he missed. The entire class turned to look at her. Rumi felt her face burning. She slowly turned in her seat. Juni was sitting 2 rows back, sunglasses now off, staring directly at her with these impossibly dark eyes that made her brain stop working. Rumi started. The circle of fifths it's a way to understand key signatures and chord progressions. She talked for over a minute, but Juni didn't say anything, just kept staring with this expression that made her feel like an idiot. You know what? Rumi's embarrassment turned into annoyance. If you're not going to pay attention, why are you even here? The class gasped. Nobody talked to Juni like that. Juni raised one eyebrow. I'm paying attention. Keep going. Fine. Rumi turned back around, her hands shaking slightly. The circle shows the relationship between the 12 tones of the chromatic scale. It's useful for understanding chord progressions and modulation. I know what it is, Juni said from behind her. Rumi spun around again. Then why did I have to explain it? I didn't ask you to. The teacher did. Well, maybe if you actually looked like you cared about being here, she wouldn't have called on me. Ms. Park cleared her throat. All right, that's enough. Both of you focus, please. Rumi turned back around, her heart pounding. She could feel Juni's eyes on the back of her head for the rest of class. What an absolute jerk. Lunch period was somehow even more chaotic. Did you seriously just argue with Juni in front of everyone? Zoe practically screamed as they sat down in the cafeteria. Girl, that was either the bravest or dumbest thing I've ever seen. He was being condescending. Rumi stabbed her food aggressively. Just because he's famous doesn't mean he can act like he's above everyone. Mira leaned back in her chair. I mean, technically, he kind of is above everyone here. The guy has like 50 million followers. He's performed at sold-out stadiums. We're in high school. That doesn't make him better than us, Rumi argued. Real talent isn't about fame. It's about authenticity, passion, actually caring about the music instead of just the image. Wow, a voice said from behind her. Tell me how you really feel. Rumi froze. She knew that voice. She turned around slowly. Juni was standing right there, lunch tray in hand with that same infuriatingly bored expression. Rumi's mind went completely blank. No, seriously, Juni continued. I want to hear more about how I don't care about music. This should be entertaining. The entire cafeteria had gone silent. Everyone was watching. Rumi stood up, her chair scraping loudly. You want to know what I think? Fine. I think you're so busy being a rock star that you forgot why you started making music in the first place. You walk around here like you're doing us all a favor by existing. Well, newsflash. Nobody here is impressed by your attitude. Juni's expression didn't change. You done? No. Rumi was on a roll now. Some of us actually work hard for our dreams. We don't have fancy labels or PR teams. We just have our voices and our passion. And you know what? That's worth more than all your fake performances put together. The cafeteria was dead silent. Juni stepped closer, close enough that Rumi could see gold flecks in his dark eyes. Fake performances? Yeah, Rumi said, though her voice was quieter now. Fake. For a long moment, Juni just looked at her. Really looked at her. Like he was trying to figure out if she was serious or just another person trying to get attention. Then he smiled. Not a nice smile. A challenging one. Interesting, he said. What's your name? Rumi. Well, Rumi. He set his tray down on her table, uninvited. Let's see if your talent matches your mouth. The school showcase is in 2 weeks. I'll be performing. Will you? Rumi's heart raced. Obviously. Good. Juni picked up his tray again. Looking forward to seeing your authentic passion on stage. Should be entertaining. He walked away, leaving Rumi standing there, shaking with adrenaline and anger and something else she couldn't name. Oh my God, Zoe whispered. Did that just happen? Did you just challenge Juni to a music battle? I think she did, Mira said, eyes wide. Rumi, are you insane? Rumi sat down heavily. Maybe. But I'm not backing down. If he thinks I'm all talk, he's about to find out exactly what I can do. Her phone buzzed. She looked down. Someone had recorded the entire confrontation and posted it online. It was already going viral. The caption read, Juni's mystery rival at school? Who is she? Great. Just great. The rest of the day was a nightmare. Everyone was talking about her, whispering, taking pictures. Her phone was exploding with notifications. Random people were following her on social media. The video had been shared thousands of times. By the time she got back to her dorm room, Rumi was ready to scream. She slammed the door shut and immediately face-planted onto her bed, Why did I do that? She groaned into her pillow. Why did I challenge a literal superstar to a music battle? What is wrong with me? Her phone rang. Zoe's face appeared on the screen. Emergency video call, Zoe yelled. Mira's face popped up too. Okay, so the video has like 200,000 views now, Mira reported. And people are divided. Some think you're brave, others think you're delusional. Most people want to know who you are. This is a disaster, Rumi said. This is amazing, Zoe corrected. Girl, do you know how many people would kill for this kind of attention? You're literally trending. I don't want to be trending. I want to be taken seriously as a musician. Then prove it, Mira said simply. You challenged him. Now you have to deliver. What are you going to perform? Rumi sat up. I don't know. I haven't finished my new song yet. Then finish it, Zoe said. You have 2 weeks. Write something incredible. Something that shows everyone you're not just some girl trying to get attention. Rumi looked around her dorm room. And that's when she noticed it. Her entire wall, covered in Juni posters, Juni photo cards, Juni album covers, a whole shrine to the guy she'd just called fake in front of everyone. Oh no, she whispered. What? Both girls asked. My wall. It's all Juni. What if someone sees? What if he sees? I'll look like a complete hypocrite. There was a pause. Then Zoe burst out laughing. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is the best thing ever. It's not funny. It's a little funny, Mira admitted. I need to take these down, Rumi said, standing up. Right now. All of them. Rumi, wait. But Rumi wasn't listening. She started ripping posters off the wall, one by one, tears forming in her eyes from pure frustration and embarrassment. I hate him, she said, tearing down a concert poster. I hate his stupid perfect face. Down went a magazine cover. I hate his stupid talented voice. There went a signed photo card. I hate that he makes me feel like this. She grabbed her Juni coffee mug and held it up, ready to throw it across the room. Rumi, don't, Mira yelled through the phone. But Rumi threw it anyway. The mug shattered against the wall, coffee splashing everywhere. She stood there, breathing hard, surrounded by torn posters and broken ceramic. Then she burst into tears. Why did I do that? She sobbed, dropping to the floor. That mug was limited edition. It cost me $40. 5 minutes later, she was on the floor with tape, carefully trying to put the torn posters back up. It's not his fault he's talented, she sniffled, smoothing out a wrinkled poster. Or that he has great stage presence. Or that his music actually means something to me even if he's a jerk in person. Girl, Zoe said gently through the phone, you are emotionally unstable. I know, Rumi wailed. Mira sighed. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow you're going to walk into that school with your head held high. Ignore the stares. Focus on your music and write the best song of your life. But what if I can't beat him? Rumi asked quietly. Then you don't beat him, Mira said. You just show everyone who you are. That's all you can do. Rumi looked at her half-destroyed, half-taped wall of Juni posters. Okay, she whispered. Okay, I can do this. But deep down, she wasn't sure if she was trying to convince her friends or herself. The next 2 weeks were absolutely brutal. Everywhere Rumi went, people whispered. The video kept getting shared. Someone even made a remix of their argument, and it was trending on TikTok. Juni's mystery rival had become her unofficial nickname. But Rumi kept her head down and focused on her song. She stayed late in the practice rooms every night, working on lyrics, melody, arrangement. Zoe and Mira brought her food and moral support. The problem was, Juni was also always in the practice rooms. She'd be working on a verse and hear his voice from down the hall, effortlessly hitting notes that shouldn't be humanly possible. She'd be perfecting a bridge and see him through the window, lost in his music, looking nothing like the bored, arrogant person from school. It was infuriating and confusing and made her chest feel weird. One night, she was leaving the practice room around midnight when she literally ran into him in the hallway. Watch where you're... She started, then stopped. Oh, it's you. Juni had his guitar case slung over his shoulder. He looked tired. Human. Not like a superstar at all. Working late? He asked. Yeah. You? Yeah. They stood there awkwardly for a moment. Listen, Juni said finally. About the cafeteria thing. Don't. Rumi interrupted. I don't need your pity or whatever. I said what I said. I wasn't going to apologize, Juni said. I was going to say you were right. Rumi blinked. What? You were right. About some of it, anyway. He adjusted his guitar case. I have been going through the motions lately. My label controls everything. What I wear, what I say, what I sing. It's been a while since I actually felt anything while performing. Rumi didn't know what to say. But you were also wrong, Juni continued. I do care about music. It's the only thing I actually care about. Everything else is just noise. Then why do you act like you're too cool for everyone here? Rumi asked. Juni smiled sadly. Because it's easier than admitting I'm jealous. Jealous? Of what? Of you guys? You still have freedom. Choices. You can make mistakes without millions of people analyzing every move. You can be yourselves. He started walking down the hall. Must be nice. Rumi stood there, stunned, as he disappeared around the corner. For the first time, she wondered if maybe she'd been wrong about him. 3 days before the showcase, disaster struck. Ms. Park announced a new requirement. Everyone had to perform a duet with a partner, to encourage collaboration and teamwork. The class groaned. I'll be assigning partners, Ms. Park said, pulling up a list. And before anyone asks, no, you cannot switch. These partnerships are final. Rumi held her breath. Please not Juni, please not Juni, please not Juni. Hunter Rumi and Park Juni, Ms. Park announced. The universe hated her. The class erupted in whispers and gasps. Someone's phone fell and clattered loudly. Rumi turned around slowly. Juni was already looking at her, expression unreadable. After class, they met outside the practice room. So, Juni said. So, Rumi echoed. This is going to be awkward. Super awkward. We should probably rehearse, though, even if we hate each other. I don't hate you, Rumi blurted out, then immediately regretted it. I mean, I don't like you, but I don't hate you. That's different. Juni's lips twitched. Good to know. They went into the practice room. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. What song should we do? Rumi asked. You pick. No, you pick. I asked you first. And I'm being polite. Juni sighed. Okay, how about this? We write something new. Together. Rumi stared at him. You want to write an original song? For a school showcase? Why not? Unless you're scared you can't keep up with me. There it was, that challenging smile. Oh, I can keep up, Rumi said. Question is whether you can keep up with me. Guess we'll find out. The next 3 days were the weirdest of Rumi's life. She and Juni spent every spare moment together, working on their duet. At first, it was tense, awkward. They argued about everything, tempo, lyrics, melody, arrangement. But slowly, something changed. Juni would suggest a chord progression that perfectly matched what she'd been hearing in her head. She'd write a lyric that made him stop and stare like she'd just read his mind. Their voices blended together in ways that shouldn't work but somehow did. His low, smooth tone with her bright, emotional one created this perfect harmony that gave Rumi actual chills. One night, they were working late again, just the two of them in the practice room. Try this line, Juni said, playing a melody on his guitar. What if you sang, I keep running, but you're everywhere I go? Rumi sang it. The words felt personal. Too personal. Are we still writing about generic emotions? She asked quietly. Or is this about something real? Juni's fingers stilled on the guitar strings. Do you want it to be real? Rumi didn't know how to answer that. When you sing, Juni said, not looking at her, you actually mean it. Every word. Every note. You're not hiding anything. He finally met her eyes. I want to sing like that again. Like it actually matters. And when you sing, Rumi said softly, you make people feel things they didn't know they could feel. Even when you're hiding, it comes through. That's not fake, Juni. That's real talent. Juni set down his guitar. I was wrong about you. At school. When we first met, you're not just another fan. And you're not just another arrogant celebrity, Rumi admitted. You're actually kind of decent. Sometimes, when you're not being annoying. Decent? Juni laughed. Wow, high praise. Don't let it go to your head. Too late. They smiled at each other, and suddenly the room felt very small, very warm. Rumi's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. Zoe was calling. I should... Rumi gestured to her phone. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. But as she left, Rumi's heart was racing for entirely different reasons than before. The night of the showcase arrived way too fast. Backstage was complete chaos. Students in elaborate costumes, vocal warm-ups echoing everywhere, last-minute rehearsals happening in every corner. Rumi was trying not to throw up from nerves. You've got this, Zoe said, fixing Rumi's hair for the 5th time. She's right, Mira agreed. You and Juni sound amazing together. I heard you guys rehearsing yesterday. If you don't win, the system is rigged. It's not about winning, Rumi said, though her shaking hands said otherwise. Juni appeared from around the corner. He was dressed in all black again, but this time it looked artistic instead of arrogant. His hair was styled perfectly. He looked like he belonged on a magazine cover. Ready? He asked Rumi. As ready as I'll ever be. They walked to the side stage together. Through the curtain, Rumi could see the packed auditorium. Every seat was full. People were even standing in the back. Rumi, Juni said quietly, whatever happens out there, thank you for reminding me why I fell in love with music in the first place. Before she could respond, their names were called. They walked on stage together. The lights were blinding. The crowd was deafening. Rumi's hands were shaking as she picked up her mic. But then Juni started playing the opening chords on his guitar, and something inside her clicked into place. This was it. This was what she'd been working toward her entire life. She opened her mouth and sang. The song they'd written together was called Stay Away, But Don't. It was about pushing someone away while simultaneously wanting them closer. About being scared of feeling something real. About two people who were supposed to be enemies but couldn't stop thinking about each other. Every word felt like a confession. When Rumi sang her verse, she didn't look at the audience. She looked at Juni. And when he sang his verse, he looked right back at her. Their voices intertwined during the chorus, creating this beautiful, aching harmony that made the whole auditorium fall silent. By the bridge, Rumi forgot she was on stage. Forgot about the showcase, the competition, everything except the music and the boy standing across from her. The final note hung in the air for a long moment. Then the auditorium exploded with applause. People were on their feet, screaming. Some were crying. Phones were out everywhere, recording. Rumi and Juni just stood there, staring at each other, both breathing hard. We did it, Juni said, barely audible over the noise. Yeah, Rumi whispered back. We really did. They won, obviously. The judges called their performance a masterclass in emotional authenticity and the best duet the showcase had seen in years. But Rumi barely heard the announcement. She was still trying to process what had just happened on stage. After the ceremony, she found Juni outside behind the auditorium. He was sitting on a bench, guitar case beside him, looking up at the stars. Hey, she said softly. He looked over and smiled. Hey yourself. Congrats, partner. Congrats to you too. She sat down beside him. That was... Yeah. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Juni, Rumi said finally. That song. Were we still just pretending? He turned to look at her. Were you? I asked first. And I'm being polite. Rumi laughed despite herself. You're impossible. You're stubborn. You're arrogant. You're emotional. Juni kissed her. It was soft and sweet and tasted like the cherry lip balm she'd nervously applied before going on stage. His hand came up to cup her cheek, and Rumi's brain completely short-circuited. When they pulled apart, they were both smiling. I wasn't pretending, Juni said quietly. Were you? No, Rumi admitted. I really wasn't. Good, because I'm pretty sure I'm falling for you, Rumi. And I don't do anything fake, remember? I remember. She kissed him again, softer this time. For the record, I never actually hated you. I know, your dorm wall kind of gave that away. Rumi pulled back, eyes wide. How do you know about my wall? Zoe may have sent me photos. Something about, you should see what your enemy's room looks like. I'm going to kill her, Rumi screamed, reeling from embarrassment. Juni laughed, pulling her back. Don't. It was actually really cute. Although I think you're missing a poster now. The one from my second tour? I might have ripped it up in an emotional breakdown. Of course you did. Shut up. Make me. So she did. Monday morning, Rumi walked into school with her head held high. The showcase video had gone viral over the weekend. Not just school viral, actually viral. Millions of views, comments from celebrities, trending worldwide. Rumi, Zoe screamed, tackling her in a hug. You're famous. The video has like 8 million views. And Juni posted about you on his Instagram. He what? Mira showed her the post. It was a photo from backstage, Juni and Rumi laughing together with the caption, "Found my favorite duet partner," and maybe something more. Thanks for the best performance of my life, Arumi Hunter. You were right. Authentic passion always wins. Rumi's face turned bright red. Oh my God, she whispered. Oh my God is right. Zoe was practically bouncing. He called you something more. Do you know what that means? That they're dating, obviously, Mira said dryly. Look at her face. She's got that gross in-love look. I do not. You absolutely do. Juni appeared in the hallway and the crowd parted like the Red Sea. But this time, instead of walking past everyone, he walked straight to Rumi. Morning, he said, taking her hand right there in front of everyone. The hallway erupted in gasps and whispers. Morning, Rumi replied, trying to sound casual even though her heart was doing gymnastics. Ready for music theory? With you? Always. They walked down the hallway together, holding hands while the entire school lost their minds around them. So, Juni said casually, what are you doing Friday? Probably writing music. Why? Want to write it with me? Maybe grab dinner after? Like a date? Like a date. Rumi smiled. Yeah, I'd really like that. That night, Rumi stood in her dorm room, looking at her wall. All the Juni posters were still there, taped up, wrinkled, some torn at the edges from her emotional breakdown. But now there was something new. Right in the center, she'd hung a photo from the showcase. Her and Juni on stage, singing together, looking at each other like they were the only two people in the world. And next to it, she'd put up her own first-place certificate. Proof that she wasn't just Juni's fan. She was an artist in her own right. Her phone buzzed. A text from Juni. Stop staring at my poster and go to sleep. We have practice tomorrow. She laughed and typed back. How did you know? Because I'm looking at your photo right now. See you tomorrow, partner. Rumi fell asleep smiling, her phone clutched to her chest, her wall of dreams surrounding her. She hadn't stopped being a fan. She'd just become someone worth being a fan of, too. And somehow, she'd found someone who saw her for exactly who she was. Not Juni's rival, not just another fangirl, but Rumi, the girl who sang like she meant it, who challenged him to be better, who reminded him why music mattered in the first place. And that was worth more than any viral video or trending hashtag could ever be. So there you have it, from enemies to duet partners to something way more. What do you think happens next for Rumi and Juni? Do they start a music duo? Do they drive each other crazy with their different creative styles? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more Rumi and Juni stories, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.